Boom, here we go.
All right.
Hey, what's up, wrestling world? I'm here with Lake Gibson assistant coach, two-time state placer himself at Lake Gibson. He's been there for a while, 16, 17 coach of the year. He also wrestled for Duke and Campbell. He's helped guide or coach 10 state champs and over 30 placers. So let's help me welcome Brent George here. We've had his brother, who is the head coach at SEU.
Yep.
Pretty good funnel going right there in Lakeland. So
We're trying.
what's up, man? So it looks like we're getting towards the other side of this COVID, man. So how has this kind of affected your teams, your club, your kids? What have you guys been doing?
Man, it's definitely been a crazy times, that's for sure. I mean, we had the state tournament that weekend, and then we had our team meeting like for fundraising and stuff that next Thursday. And the next thing you knew, schools were closing down and life was kind of shutting down on us. So it's definitely been different. It's been the weirdest off season, I will say, for sure.
I've probably never been one like this before, and God willing.
Yeah, hopefully we never get. I mean, I'm sure my wife, she's enjoying it. She has me home a lot more, but we definitely miss the wrestling. Well,
Wait for a sec. Harry, there he is.
Oh, there we go.
What's up, man? You kind of froze. It's probably
Yeah.
my internet. My internet sucks. So go ahead, man. I think you were discussing the effects of COVID on your off season.
Yeah, no, it's definitely been the weirdest off season we've had. My wife, she's probably enjoyed it because I've been home with her and the kids a lot more than usual. But
awesome.
yeah, definitely glad. Well, hopefully it looks like we're on the back end of it, at least with stuff opening back up.
Well, that's a good thing, man. I'm hoping it does, because I know my kids are out there.
Oh yeah.
And they're working out, beating each other up in the garage. And, and I'm hoping to get back out there, man.
Oh yeah, we're challenging our boys with timed runs. Who can compete and get the fastest mile or the most push-ups. I pulled one. I followed my little brother's suit. I climbed a tree and did pull-ups and send it to the boys to try and get them motivated to do stuff. So
here's a question coming. What happened the last time you and your brother went live?
Listen, so once you said the last time, I already knew where that question was going. So here, all right. The little brother, he's a little brother, but he's now little big brother. But he took me down. The one and only time. It just so happens it's the last time.
So he's got that a little bit of clout.
Listen. So he can have the takedown. I will say you've never beat me in a match because I'm not going to wrestle a match with him. So that's coming to the grave with me.
Just in case, right?
That's coming to the grave until he can't walk, or if I'm in better shape when we get to like 60 years old. That one's going to the grave with me.
I'm sharing you with a bunch of different pages around the country so that you can see you out there. So I think he. Let's see. Are we doing okay here? Are we still live on Facebook? Okay. It looked like we were having some issues there. Good. All right, man. So good. So we know that Brandon took you down. So there we go. We got that answered.
Once.
I wonder if he's going to chime in on this. So listen, what does it mean to obviously you got coach of the year, but what does it mean to coach your alma mater and be there and be back at Lakeland and kind of be at the the place where it all started?
Absolutely.
Also having your brother right there at college, so you guys are back kind of in Lakeland and doing your thing. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, was it Lake Gibson? I love Lake Gibson. I grew up in the north side of Lakeland essentially my whole life. So, you know, wrestling Underwalker, you know, I could definitely tell that he loves us kids. He does it for us. You know, we're what drives him, and you know, to get us to be better men and just better individuals. And so when I first went off to college, it was, you know, I was thinking I wanted to be a lawyer, and go that pre-law route. And then life hit me. I was like, man, I love wrestling. I wanna be involved. And once I made up my mind that I was going to be involved in wrestling in some way, shape, or form, I was like, I'm going to come back and coach at home, you know, and give back to the program that gave to me, give back to the halls of Lake Gibson, you know, that gave to me. And so I love being there. And as a coach, I get to encourage. And then as a Lake Gibson alum, now that they're doing things that the teams I was on never could do, you know, it's definitely awesome to see. It's awesome. And it's awesome to see the transformation of Lake Gibson.
Definitely, they're doing something right there. Alex De Armas said, if it's not brotherly love, if there isn't any competition.
Listen, there's 4 brothers in our family. We're not competitive at all in anything we do.
Yeah. all in wrestling rooms. Talk a little bit about that. So what's the culture and everything in that room? You and Danny, what's the expectations? What are the requirements, and how strongly do you guys push academics?
Well, first, the culture in there is, man, it's a family, you know, from parents to the team to the siblings to us coaches. I mean, it's a family. Walker has done the best job probably at doing that. You know, he definitely has a family atmosphere where he has parents and kids who are removed 10 years from the program are still showing up to every single match we have. So that's first and foremost, we're family. And then, I mean, they push each other. I mean, as you talk to a lot of wrestlers, a lot of coaches, you don't get to, you know, reach your goals if you're not pushing each other, if you're not holding everyone accountable, if your seniors aren't holding other accountable, or even if your underclassmen aren't holding people accountable, you know, not letting anyone slack. And then, you know, the grades part, that's for sure. Cause we definitely learned, and, you know, through me coming up, you're a student first, athlete second. Without grades, you ain't going anywhere. You know, we've always preached the first thing a college coach asks, you could be the best wrestler in the world. First thing they ask, what are their grades? What are their test scores? So that has to be first. So me, luckily, being at the high school, you know, I was a teacher. Now I'm moving into a little type of administration. I'm a dean at the high school. I have access to their grades anytime I want it. So we pull grades regularly. We punish regularly, and like I said, we hold them accountable, and they hold each other accountable, which that's a big part of it, is the athletes holding them accountable, because everyone gets tired of the coach saying stuff.
That's awesome. So I'd imagine when you and your brother were at Lake Gibson, the big thing was Gibson Brandon, right?
Yes, when we were there, I mean, Brandon was dominating. I mean, back when we were, it was Brandon. They were clearly a head and shoulders above everybody.
And now, talk about how the rivalry is with, now it's Gibson Tampa, right? Tampa Jesuit.
Mm-hmm. It's turned into us and Jesuit.
What's that do for you guys? I mean, make you work a little bit harder, make the kids work a little bit harder.
I mean, absolutely. And when I was in high school, even in the first couple of years of coaching, I mean, it was Brandon. They were the team that you strived to beat, you strived to be like. I mean, they had the recipe for success. So when you're chasing them, it's easy to work hard. You know, it's easy to put in the extra little bit because we're chasing somebody. And then you know, growing up in wrestling my whole life, it was Brandon. And the first time we beat him at districts, I think we snapped like a 40+ year district streak. I couldn't wrap my head around it. Like, I was like, holy crap, what did we just do? And then, you know, obviously then eventually it took us a couple years to get the state title one. And then, you know, now Jesuit, they're right on our heels, if not right there, because they got us at the state duels this year. So, you know, you need the teams. You need that rivalry. You need the teams, because iron sharpens iron. You know, you push each other. You know, we got to be working when they're not, you know, kind of that type of situation.
That's awesome, man. So let's talk about your state champs this year. You had let's see, Brendan Abden, right?
Yep.
You had and Ashton Habil, right?
Yeah,
Were
they
you
were
two
our,
state
they were,
champs?
yeah, they were our 2 state champs for the year.
And then I only have the champs written down, but I believe you had a number of kids place.
We had 11 state placers, and 5 in the state final. So we had 3 lose in the state finals.
Okay, yeah. So I had Abden on. I haven't had Habil on. He's welcome to be on. So
Yeah.
if you want to throw him a link, if you want to get him on, he's welcome on. But Brendan Abden seems like that kid that you wish you could have 100 of him in the room. At least when I spoke to him.
Well, he's been around, for a long time, been around wrestling for a long. He's been in our club, been coaching him for several years now. And his parents have been around for wrestling for a while. And so they know the academic and the athletic part of it. So, and they understand the discipline of wrestling where we get kids who come out their freshman year and then we're trying to develop them. They just don't know wrestling. They don't have that wrestling IQ yet. They are great wrestlers. And, once again, that's another credit to Walker. He does develop kids phenomenal. But Brendan, they get it. They know it, to be the
just from talking to him, you could tell his head was on right.
Mm-hmm.
And everything. And he's young, right? So you got a couple more years with him?
Yeah, he was a sophomore this year. So we still have 2 more years with him.
So talk about Habil, kind of year he had. Seems like was that his first? How many has he had so far?
No, that was his 3rd state title. So he's been around forever. He's been around the wrestling scene. He was at Tampa Prep for middle school, was a state finalist in middle school. And then he's originally from Lakeland. So he started with Lake Gibson and as a 9th grader. And he won it his 9th and 10th grade year. He got 3rd. His 11th grade year in a controversial match, and then he won it again this past year as a senior.
And where's he going now?
I mean, we're still working to find him a home.
Okay.
Yeah, because he was going to Old Dominion. He was committed there.
Oh, that's one of those.
Mm-hmm. He was one of our Old Dominion commits, and we're still working to get him a home.
Yeah, Scotty sent us.
Scotty.
Bring another one in.
Hey.
Or Brandon George, right?
Hey,
or Ricky Marcus or somebody. Not Ricky, the son.
Nick. Yeah,
Nick. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Somebody pick him up, man. Get him a home.
He'll be somewhere. He's making sure he's finding the right home. It's a hard situation when you think you're going somewhere.
I feel like I know some people now. Joe Norton. Let's get him a home. Pisker. Look at me. I'm shouting out names. Omi Acosta.
There you go.
That's good, man. Well, cool. So you guys had 11 placers. Awesome, man. So you've been around Florida wrestling since you were 5, 6 years old.
Yeah, I started when I was 5.
How far has Florida wrestling come since you've been involved in it, and where do you see it going? And you guys are a private school as well, right?
No, we are a good old public school north side of Lakeland.
Okay.
Yep.
So that's amazing, man. You guys are doing big things. And talk about the growth of Florida wrestling. Talk about maybe what it would help to get maybe a D1 around here.
Yeah.
It probably wouldn't help Brandon, but it would help Florida wrestling. And just what you've seen and I don't know, kind of talk about that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I listened to Kevin and Kyle, and I've listened to a lot of people you've gone with, and and the thing is, the top kids of Florida, and it's been like this, forever since us growing up. Top kids of Florida, they can compete with the top kids of PA, with top kids of, Jersey, Ohio, whatever it is. It's just, those northern states, they have the depth. But I think our depth is getting there for sure. I mean, when you got kids now who are placing 3rd, 4th at the state tournament, and yet they're going off to some of these national events and beating some of these state champs and state runner-ups from these other states. So it's definitely helped. And, I'll say our kids club scene across the state of Florida has made a huge impact in that. Obviously with South Dade and Gladiator, they have a great club. Mr. Coach Joyce, with Jesuit has a great club. CFWA Brandon had a great club and still has their kids club going. The kids club is definitely picked up. I want to say Florida wrestling.
What do you think it means? What do you think it means to see some of these people coming in, like Olson from Illinois, Connor Beebe from Illinois? We're seeing the Scorpions come down and bring a club. We're seeing just all sorts of different youth clubs being brought down to Central Florida and Florida as a whole. What's that going to do for all the schools in the area?
And it definitely helps when, you have kids who go off to college, they wrestle in college, whether it's D1, D2, and I mean, they have a sense of what the next level's about, and then they come back and they start coaching, and they're giving back to the sport, with, whoever it is, you go off, you learn, you grow in college, and then you come back and you make a career of coaching, you make a career of, building that next generation. And that definitely helps for sure.
That's awesome. Yeah. And so what is your opinion? I know it seems like one of the big reasons why Lake Highland has decided to go prep, not that, I mean, they should have done that a long time ago from and they've earned the right, but what will that do for Florida, bringing Florida wrestling in here? And what's that going to do to get the prep schools into our state and competing with schools like Gibson and Tampa Jesuit and Prep and all those teams?
I mean, I definitely don't think it's going to hurt. I mean, more power to them. They're going to be on. They were already have been on the national scene for years. Obviously, they're a top 10 school over and over. But they go into this prep. Like we got heard Blair's coming down. This wrestling season, if we get more of those schools to come into Florida, and it gives us, these schools who maybe can't travel, to across the nation, gives these chance to wrestle the best. I mean, you got to wrestle the best to be the best. And if LHP moving to go and prep and can draw some of those top schools or top kids from the nation to come down and move and live in Florida, and now we're wrestling against them in the off season, I mean, it can't hurt. It's only going to help, I feel like.
What about FFHS restrictions on allowing you guys to travel? I know that was another big reason why they've made the change. How is that can't that affect Florida wrestling by not allowing high schools to go out of state?
I mean, like I said,
you were Brandon.
Listen, I'm Big Brother.
I like
you might have all the accolades, but I'm Big Brother.
I like it.
No, I mean, like I said, you gotta wrestle the best to be the best. You gotta beat the best to be the best. And those better schools are from the north currently, those top schools, and you got to get in front of them. But also that comes into wrestling's a year-round sport. You get to the Super 32s, to the Grappler Fall Classics, to the Junior Duels Fargo, all those tournaments, and you're still getting them. You're still right in front of them, wrestling with them. So it does damper, but there's ways to get up there and wrestle with them.
How can we convince more big schools to come into our local tournaments?
Well, and I mean, once again, the knockout. Coach Bird over there, he's doing a fantastic job. That tournament just getting tougher and tougher every year. We got Blair now coming. We gotta keep the par. We gotta make, like I heard Kevin say earlier, we gotta make it worth them. We gotta make it worth their while. Who wouldn't want to come to Florida in December when it's 0 degrees in Ohio? It's great that they can come wrestle, go to the beach, go to Disney World, but you're not going to spend all that money if the competition's not there. And I think the knockout is doing, once again, a fantastic job. That tournament is
Yeah, because like he said, he's like, these teams didn't want to come down because if, God forbid, they got beat by a Florida kid, they didn't want to go back and talk about it. So, yeah,
I think that's changing too, with, we got kids going off and ranked in the nation every year. And like I said, with CFWA, that whole, like it was growing up in Florida, we were, I don't want to say the laughing stock, but when they saw us on a national bracket, it was like, oh yeah, I got a kid from Florida, but I definitely think that's changing for sure.
Yeah. He said, we just got to make sure when they're coming to town that our top dual teams are there to compete.
Oh yeah.
and just make it worth it. Because if Blair comes down and starts saying, "Wow, those tournaments are good," that they're going to tell what?
I mean,
my
yeah,
TV, or they're going to tell, I don't know,
more incentive for them to
but
come, or they'll come again next year, and next thing you know, you got another northern school coming, another nationally ranked team coming down.
That'd be awesome. So, how important is it for Florida to sanction these girls?
Once again, it's only going to grow the sport. I mean, we're looking to grow the sport. We're already on the chopping block. We were on the chopping block for the Olympics. You know, NCAA teams are getting cut left and right. We've been part of them personally twice now at Lake Gibson with boys with programs getting cut on the national level. So it's only going to grow the sport. I mean, anything to grow the sport and get you in front of TV, get you in front of an audience where, you know, people know what's going on in the wrestling world, it's only going to help.
Yeah, it just doesn't. I don't understand why we're seeing all the other states get it and we haven't. Now, I did have Coach Blasucci on last week, and he is on the board or the committee or whatever it is that's involved in that. He claimed that it's not that they don't want girls wrestling; they're just there's some logistics to it or some politics.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure politics, money makes the world go round, stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but when I hear, and I'm learning, right? So I talked to a girl that 5 years ago or 6 years ago tells me there were 70 girls or 60 girls at the tournament, and this year there's 369.
Oh yeah, no, it's grown. It's grown tremendously for sure.
Talked to, I don't know if it was Coach Dominguez or Alan Held, or I forget who I spoke to, that said that last year they had 6 girls and this year they had 60 in a bracket.
That's crazy.
So that's Chris Ayers up in New Jersey, the coach at Princeton, said there was over 700 girls in Atlantic City this year.
I mean, yeah, dude. I mean, the world's moving, and
and I mean, I don't have a daughter. I got 2 sons, but I'm also not 106 years old. I kind of I get that girls aren't supposed to be in the kitchen anymore. They can be out cooking, you know. I mean, I got past that great grandfather thing. So. You have 3 brothers and you, right? There's 4 of you?
There's 4 of us, yeah.
So what has wrestling meant for you and your family, and what has it done for you and your brothers?
I mean, like I said, I started when I was 5. You know, I don't really remember life without wrestling in some way, shape, or form. So it's definitely a huge part of our family. You know, our family trips were around wrestling tournaments growing up, so it's definitely part of us, and it's just, I mean, it's made us into the men that we are today. You know, it's shaped us.
I'm laughing because, and I don't mean to cut you off, but Ashton Beal put, "What a cutie."
There's old Ashy Ash. That sounds that sounds like him. Sounds like him.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, I'm laughing.
No, that sounds like him. No, it's definitely, you know, the old, was it Dan Gable? Once you've wrestled, everything in life is easy. You know, just that discipline that wrestling has taught is definitely, you know, helped in my academic world, helped in my career, you know, in education, and just helped, I feel like, just be a better person for sure.
What's it mean for you now to have your brother right here at the college?
Well, I mean, he kind of screwed us up. He was supposed to be coaching with us at the high school. You know, because the original plan before Southeastern started was he was going to come back, and me and him were going to be Walker's assistants, and we were just going to take over. But
sorry, Walker.
Yeah, but no, Walker ain't going nowhere. But no, it's awesome. It's awesome that we have, I mean, not only a college program literally in Lakeland, you know, in our own backyard, you know, that my little brother's the coach there, and he's a Lake Gibson, once again, a Lake Gibson alum. You know, our boys have firsthand experience to a college coach, you know, on a college campus, just where we can have that advice that people don't have. So
I had never been there before, and Mike, one of the new associate ADs, is a good friend of mine.
Oh yeah, no, it's a beautiful little campus, that's for sure.
Yeah, he invited us down for that quad when they had the quad duels down there.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And I got to go down. What an awesome gym! What an awesome setup!
Oh yeah, it's nice. We actually we have a duel lined up this year. We're wrestling against Springstead, I believe, right before Southeastern's wrestling this year. So this is going to be the second time we get to do that. So that's another perk of having a Lake Gibson coach and or Lake Gibson alum and a coach right
But
there.
how cool is that for the kids too, to experience a college campus? Like my wife says to me, like last off season, I got to take Daniel to a couple camps, right? And going into this off season, I had more camps planned because I'm actually learning how to do this now. But I had more. And the one thing she said to me is, I'll allow you to take him and do this stuff with him, but the one requirement I have is I need you to let him walk the campuses.
Oh yeah.
And see that life and feel that life. So I think letting the kids go into Southeast and getting to come out onto a college ground and getting to see how the big boys live and what the goal is. And
no, it's
I think that's awesome.
So it is. It's really awesome. I mean, shoot, we have I think we have 3 kids going to Brandon next year. So I think we're gonna have a total of 5, maybe, or 6 Lake Gibson guys on that roster next year. So it's definitely
careful
helping.
when you say that word, Brandon. I mean, some of these Lake Gibson alum are not gonna like that.
No, it's fine.
That's awesome.
Like I said, I've said the Nordstroms that you've had on several times. I love the Nordstroms to death, and they're Brandon die hard. So I love those guys to death.
Yeah, and they've been in that Tampa club by you guys.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, you can't get away from Kevin, can we? He was beating us up when he was in high school. Now he's coaching at Jesuit. We can't get away from him.
He goes, what did he say? He said, "Yeah, I gotta pick it up a little bit now with Ethan. He's getting better."
Oh yeah.
But
well, I know the feeling. I know the feeling. And he's getting older, and the high school kids, they're staying younger.
And how good were those Nordstroms in high school?
Oh, I mean, they were great. I mean, like just growing up, like I think when Brandon was on or Kevin was on, Brandon and Kevin growing up, those kids were mean little dudes going at it in the Brandon Wrestling Club and then going at it at Southeast Regionals and stuff like that. So, no, I love the Nordstrom family. I mean, I'm always talking with Kevin at tournaments. I'm always talking with Mr. Nordstrom, just checking in on the family. I mean, like I told you a little bit ago, Mr. Nordstrom, I'm pretty sure he drove a couple of us, but he drove us all over the country one year. One summer. Drove
I can't wait to get back into like gyms and stuff and get to meet everybody. And where I hat, everybody says, "We can't see your eyes. You look like you're sleeping." And I'm like, "You just need to hear me." Yeah. I can't wait to get out to these tournaments and see everybody again and get to meet everybody. Do you guys go to? I don't remember. We come down for that big Lakeland tournament, George Jenkins.
Yeah, we don't go to that one. We don't hit that turn, but I know what they have a whole mess load of teams. Yeah, we hold our own tournament. It's about the same time of year as that. Yeah,
it's better. I know our coaches, we used to go to like Timber Creek and a couple of other stuff that happens at the same time, but you see the same Central Florida teams at those tournaments. So to get down to Lakeland, it gets the kids an opportunity to wrestle against some other kids.
Yep, absolutely. You gotta travel to see the competition. That's for sure.
Yeah, I told my son, I go, better be careful. I'm gonna have to walk around with a Sharpie. People are gonna want to take selfies with me. And he started laughing. He's like, "Oh boy!" I said, "No, I'm just kidding."
That's funny.
But all right, man, you ready for the 10 questions?
All right, let's hear them.
All right, I'm trying to figure out the old Lakeland area here. I'm gonna say
there ain't much.
Ford's Garage or the Red Top?
Red Top. That's good old country, right off of 98 North. Come on now.
I looked for like a couple burger joints around your high school, and I go, okay, I know he knows one of these.
Oh yeah.
All right, Brew Hub or Swan Brewing?
You know what? I don't drink, so I can't go with either.
Oh, okay, good. And I don't want to influence you.
No, you're good. You're good.
I'll still invite you to St. Pete Brewing. We go down there. They got like apple
I'll
juice
show up. If Jay Campbell's there, I'm there.
All right. Chinese food or sushi?
Chinese food.
Good old country boy. I don't eat that raw shit.
If it ain't fried, it ain't being tried.
Taco or burrito?
Taco.
Hiking or fishing?
Fishing while on a hike.
I like it. Busch Gardens or Universal Studios?
You know, I've only been to each once, and I was a young kid. But I'm gonna go with Busch Gardens. There's animals to see.
I like it. All right, so you're in Lakeland, so you're like right in the middle.
Right off of I-4.
Do you go East Coast beaches or Gulf Coast beaches?
The Gulf, Anna Maria Island all day.
I like that place too. Do you like the coaches challenge or no coaches challenge? I know that there's a big thing in high school. They want to bring back the not bring back, but kind of get the block onto the coaches.
I mean, I don't know, but obviously that comes with a whole nother set of issues with videos and money and stuff.
Right. It's like, do you like replay or instant replay? Right?
Yeah. I mean, I like it in the college level. I mean, and
well, it's like in the pros, like just let them play, right?
yep.
Do you prefer high school scoring or NCAA scoring?
NCAA.
And I think we went through this because I had here Brandon or Brent.
Oh, that's me all day. Big brother. Big brother.
Yeah, I said, well, let's see, Habil or Abden?
Habil is huge. He's a monster. He deadlifts trucks.
Really?
I don't know. He's a beast. He loves the weight room.
Oh, nice.
Yes, he's gotten too big for me.
That's awesome. So hopefully we can get Walker on here one day, or at least
well,
maybe
we saw the pool that he's working with. So
Habil said sushi, you weirdo. That's him, huh? So that's cool, man. Hey, did I touch on everything maybe you wanted to talk about? Is there anything that I missed?
I mean,
is there anything you wanted to shout out? Is there anybody you want to call out? Is there anybody other than Brandon?
Other than Daniel Walker, I mean,
I like it, man.
I mean, I just love wrestling. Like I said, it's been part of my whole life. I've been watching a lot of your films. Just figure I'd get on and just have a chat.
Yeah, it's been fun, man. I think who'd I have on before you? I had Brandon and JD on before you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's that over 40 brain. Sorry, guys, my memory lacks. I was telling them that I think I've had 32 of the high school's coaches on, so
that's awesome.
Coach or assistant coach.
Yep.
In Florida. So
no, it's great what you're doing, especially when we can't be in the gym talking with each other and stuff like that. We're still gaining some knowledge and just talking wrestling.
Yeah. So anybody, please, I've had 80, I think this is my 82nd show or 83rd show.
Nice.
Since April 6th. So we'll hit 100 by the end of the week.
Wow. Daniel
Walker still owes me my last live go.
Was that Brandon or Ashton? That was Ashton. That was Ashton. Like I said, he's too big. He's too big for us. The monster. I liked it better, wrestling better with him when he was a freshman and sophomore.
Good, man. Well, we need to get him a home. Come on, coaches out there, man. You got somebody right there, man, looking for a home.
Absolutely.
Get him a home. And other than that, man, thanks so much for coming on. Any high school coaches, college coaches, wrestlers, referees, anybody that's got a great story, man, hit me up, call me up, sign up, hit book now, follow me, subscribe to me. I don't know, whatever I'm supposed to say on these things.
Right.
My 11-year-old is teaching me how to subscribe to YouTube, I guess, or get people to
getting all the lingo right, all the technology.
Yeah, I don't know, man. And hey, like I said, if you have anybody in the wrestling world that you'd like to have on here, man, just shoot them my link and
we'll point them your way.
Sign up and I'll be ready for them.
Yep, we'll point them your way for sure.
Yeah, man, thanks. I usually don't have a 5 o'clock, but Nick Bruschetta, he had to schedule from 1 to 5, so we're on 5 now. He's a 2-time Ohio State champ at St. Paris Graham. So.
Oh no, he's a beast. He was in college the same time I was in college, so I watched him.
I hear he's pretty good. I looked up top Virginia Tech wrestlers of all time, and he was number 4 or something.
Oh yeah, Bruschetta's a beast.
He must be pretty good, but so it'll be fun to talk to him, and look forward to that. And that's about it, man. That's all I got.
Awesome.
With that being said, man, thank you so much, and whatever I can do to help or voice or whatever.
Will do. Be good. Thanks for having me. This is great what you're doing.
Thank you, Brent.